Sis, I thought we were learning how to do our makeup in 2025. I'm kind of confused as to why you're not sitting down right now with your brushes in hand, ready to follow this flawless base tutorial. Come on. So I already did my skincare prep. I am going to go in with my primer, okay? Now my skincare prep, if you guys want me to do a whole video on that, please let me know down below and I will gladly do so. Because when it comes to a flawless base routine, you need to have great skincare that is for your skin type. I am normal to dry, especially during the winter time, so I want to make sure that my face is nice and moisturized so my makeup can look good. So for primer, what I like to use is the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Primer. Just me, because this is not talked about a lot, and I really like this primer. Like it says, it gives a very airbrush finish, and for me that's a great starter for a flawless makeup base. Now I've used this so much that the pump isn't working, so make sure you get one that's actually working. It's such a good product and it's so creamy. It's really moisturizing, but I know that my makeup is going to eat down with this. Next, for foundation, I am going to use Urban Decay's Face Bond Foundation in Deep Warm Neutral. Y'all, this right here, it is so good. I love this foundation. And y'all, it is so hard to find like the perfect foundation, especially if you want it to look flawless. So make sure that I'm gonna give y'all some tips, okay? When it comes to finding your foundation, look for undertone before you look for shade. Especially as Black women, our undertones are so different. Now for me, I like to match my neck, because if I match my face, it's going to be super bright. And I'll never forget that this one time, I'll never forget, for many years, I thought that I was a warm girly. Like, so you can already imagine me being an Oompa Loompa, super red. And I am not like super dark. Like I can find my shade most of the time. So when companies do not have at least my shade, it's a problem, because like I said, I'm not super dark. I am dark enough though. So if a company can't have my shade, like, it's a problem. And there's been so many times where, when I tell you, I have been an Oompa Loompa, just orange. So, you know, the girlies have gotten a little bit better in terms of shade matching customers, but the companies need to do a better job in finding the undertones for darker complexions. So that is the best tip that I can give you, is finding your undertone before you even look at shades, because that is that's very difficult. Now, next is concealers. This is my favorite part of my makeup routine. I love a good concealer, and quite honestly, I love a good full coverage concealer. Now, we're gonna go with the OG full coverage concealer, which is Too Faced Born This Way. I'm using the shade Toffee. Y'all, this is absolutely perfect for your flawless base, okay? Yes, there are great alternatives in terms of using like lighter concealer, like lighter feeling concealers or hydrating concealer, but to me personally, a flawless base is nothing. There's nothing like a full coverage flawless base, okay? So we're just going to just do a little bit, okay? Because though we want it to be full coverage, the focus is it being flawless. So a lot of the mistake that I used to do as well is putting too much concealer and it starts to look cakey. We don't want that at all. Now that we have let the concealer dry down a little bit, we're gonna go into blending. Now, I like using brushes better than sponges because it does just give a more flawless look. But sponges, I feel like sponges obviously pick up product to kind of give more a skin-like finish. But we are elevating our makeup look this year, okay? We're gonna be big girls and get some brushes, okay? If I can do it, you can do it. I promise. So we are going to work on the edges. Okay, just like you do the edges for your hair, we're gonna work on the edges of this concealer, especially if it's full coverage. You do not want to go all the way in yet. And yes, you're gonna be blending for a while. You're gonna be beating this face, okay? That's another thing girlies need to realize. One, you gotta put the makeup on, and you gotta remember that this is art. This takes time. This is not something that's going to be done within 5 minutes. Now, if you want a 5-minute makeup routine, let me know down in the comments below. I will gladly do so if I already don't have a video on that. And then you are going to go in, make sure you look up to make sure you get that waterline as well. You see what I mean by flawless? It looks so good, don't it? All right, now we're gonna do the exact same thing to the other side and everywhere else that we put our concealer. Look at how beautiful already my base is looking. Now, this next step is a little bit for the intermediate advanced girlies. If you want a brightening look, this is the perfect time to add a brightening concealer, and I'm going to do that in this video. I'm using Estee Lauder's Double Wear Stay in Place Concealer in the shade 5N. And y'all, this is bright. This is brightening. Okay, well, I love this applicator because it's so big and you are able to get a lot of product. You need to be real careful with a brightening concealer because it can really ruin your whole entire makeup look. And when you have a concealer like this that gets matte really fast, you have to quickly blend it in, because if you allow it to dry down like the previous concealer, it's going to be dang near impossible to blend in. And with brightening concealers, you want to keep it in one spot. So I like to use like a very small angled brush to just get right in there, let it stay in place. You see that, how it just nicely brightened my under eye because it stayed right here. I'm not dragging it out. I'm leaving it in the area where the sun will touch my face the best. For bronzers, I'm going to use the Saie Beauty bronzer in the shade Deep Dark Bronze. I don't have to use bronzer now, but I think it's a great addition to a flawless base because you just look good because your face is snatched, honey. Okay, as y'all can see, I use this stuff. You see the dent in the middle? I've been using it. And what I like to do, I like to concentrate it just right here, go around my temples, okay, and blend it out and blend it upwards. You see already how like my face is super snatched. It looks harsh, but don't worry, you're gonna fix it. Personally, I think the key to a flawless base routine are powders. Okay, you need a pressed powder and you need a loose powder. For my pressed powder, I am using Hourglass's airbrush pressed powder in the shade Translucent Deep. I like to apply that first, and I just go right into where I placed my concealer. Sometimes I go over my blush as well, just to kind of give a more seamless blend. Using the Beauty Elixir to refresh my face. I didn't put too much now, just to kind of making sure that my makeup is starting to blend in together. Now while that's done, I'm going to use my Huda Beauty Cinnamon Bun Easy Bake Powder. 2016 girlies, we understand that we would bake, okay? But we're not doing that anymore because let's face it, we was looking crazy just baking our faces like that. Okay, and our faces were literally cracked and dry, and we don't want that anymore. So we're just gonna go just a little bit, okay? Just a little tiny bit of baking, okay? This right here will make sure that your makeup not only stays on all day long, that you literally look like a filter. The powders are a perfect step for all of my oily girlies because you want it to just suck out all of the oil that you got on your face. That's if it works for you. Some girlies really like the dewy makeup look. So whatever works for you, babes, do that. Now while that is like baking a little bit, this is where you do your bronzer, your eyes, and all of those things. And I'm gonna come right back with all of those things done. So I put on my bronzer, put a little bit on my eyes, put on mascara, and we're just going to wipe off just a little excess that we had on and call it a day to make sure that everything is nice and set properly and that it continues to have a continuous look on our faces. Now that my whole entire face is done, this is the last and final process for the most perfect flawless base routine. Now that is setting spray. Normally I don't like to use 2 setting sprays, but I really want to test this out today. So we're going to use the Caudalie. It's also advertised as a setting spray. And of course we're going to use the OG Morphe setting spray. This is your flawless base routine. Did I slay or not? Y'all let me know, because I think I did. But y'all also let me know if this kind of sit down tutorial is very helpful for you, so you can follow along to making sure that your base is as flawless as mine. All right. And also don't forget to like, comment, subscribe so you don't miss any more of my videos. All right. See you guys in the next episode. Love y'all.